your job.
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And if this is your first time watching us, and it is 6:30 on a Wednesday night, Central Standard Time.
Oh.
Yep, you should be able to see this show in its first form on YouTube.
Before its final
form, where it transforms into the oblivion.
Oh.
But you can also join us in the chat at the same time because Joel likes to talk to people.
Sometimes.
He gets lonely.
Oh, I don't get lonely. I got you.
Yeah, but you get lonely for other people. It's not weird.
I don't know.
And if this is your first time watching us or listening to us, because we also have this streaming the following day on Spotify
and other fine
podcasting places that Spotify wants to share it with.
We believe in sharing.
Yeah. If this is your first time watching, this is a half-hour chat show where we discuss a movie that we watched. And we've got some criteria. So the criteria for that. Oh, and also if you're watching this, you can see that we record this from our house, and this is one of our dogs. His name is Shaggy. So I was getting to the criteria. So it needs to be under $5. It needs to be something that we have either purchased or was gifted to us. It needs, which is like, how else are you going to get movies? You know, I don't know why that's a criteria. That's just kind of like, I don't know. It's usually better when we find it in the wild or if somebody gives it to us because that's, you know.
Then it's more like.
Yeah. Like when I say found it in the wild, I mean like physical media.
Yeah, no,
it's more
we don't
fun.
Just go looking in the woods for random movies.
No, but like sometimes we do get things that are gifted to us, like ITN. They give us digital download kind of things. You're making a weird face. You said something creepy, didn't you? And then it needs to be a sci-fi, thriller, or horror genre. But Shaggy. And we can't have seen it before. And that's the last one.
Did you already say under $5?
Yeah, that was my very first one.
Whoops. I have an extra finger pointing at me for making a mistake.
Yeah.
Hi, Shaggy.
That was my very first one. And this week, we happened to watch.
From this illustrious set from our friend Anne. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Anne, for all of the wonderful content you have been providing us, because this has actually 5 different movies on it. But we watched Don't Look in the Basement, starring Rosie Holitic, Annabelle McAdams, which you're going to talk about, and then directed by S.F. Brownrigg.
And if you look in our basement, you'll find Newly Dads things.
You will. That's where we do our creating.
And laundry.
So a young nurse. Do you want me to read the synopsis?
Oh, is it time for that already?
I think so.
Wow, time flies.
Oh,
okay, hold on.
Actually, yeah. I don't even know what time it is. Because I don't have my little, I usually have a little timer going, but I forgot to do that part.
Peek behind the curtains.
But yeah, so I'm going to read it. It's really short because it's a 5-movie set. Should I embellish it?
No, I mean, shame. We have thoughts.
Okay. A young nurse arrives at an isolated sanitarium where the lunatics are truly taking over the asylum. The end. It stars Rosie Holitic, a Playboy cover girl from April 1972. That's it.
Which character was she?
I'm guessing the one with the boobs.
There were lots of people that had boobs, but only one that showed the boobs.
The boob girl. That's what I'm guessing, at least.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
That was short. That was
I don't think it was the phone guy.
No. It was a short synopsis.
Synopsis.
So.
Synopsis.
Yes.
And absolutely, there is a trailer because this film is from 1972? 73.
73.
1 year before I was born.
Yeah.
And that was back when they made lots of trailers, usually that showed way too much information. So this may really reveal more than you want to know about the film. So if that thing is a thing you're worried about, heads up. But it's from 1973, so if you haven't seen it by now.
Tough titty, said the kitty. But the milk tastes fine.
But it is kind of fun if you don't know what happens. So
yeah,
heads up, just in case you want to fast forward and then come back later.
Okay, well, let's watch the trailer.
Wait, what is it? Where is it? Wonder.
It's just a flatbed trailer.
Yeah.
Nothing on it.
Nothing?
Plain
trailer.
But it's carrying a body.
Oh, of course it is. Because how am I going to do that? Bailey, I don't know.
I know you like it.
Your mom is difficult. When he jumps up, sometimes he looks like a superhero. Because he's like...
Yeah. I wish I could Superman.
Like him?
This is Bailey.
Bailey
I
is
think they probably already saw Bailey. I don't remember.
No, not today.
I think he jumped down already.
But Bailey is the one that likes to look at the camera, so he looks right into you. And Shaggy looks at us and away from the camera, and so you never really see his face as much. But
Bailey likes being on TV.
Yeah, he likes to stare right into your soul.
Do it, Bailey. No, he's not going to. He's just going to look at me.
He doesn't take direction.
Yeah.
High five.
Good boy.
So he does take some direction.
He likes high-fiving. All right, so we're going to watch the trailer, and we'll be right back.
Don't look in the basement. The makers of Last House on the Left warn you again. To avoid fainting, keep repeating, it's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie. The line between sanity and madness can be crossed in a single step. And with this step, you enter the nightmare world of terror. On the day the insane took over the asylum, Judge Kamen, whose iron self-control hides the urge, kill. Harriet, a mother's love, twisted into the malignant shape of evil. The sergeant, living in the hell of an aimless war, fighting a battle within himself that he lost long ago. Allison, in a desperate need for love, an obsession that could drive her to murder. Danny, whose sense of humor triggers a violent act of revenge. Dr. Masters, who has her own idea of the gentle art of healing. And Charlotte, who left the world of sanity and security, only to be trapped in the nightmare world of madness, a nightmare she cannot escape. They all met on the day the insane took over the asylum. Don't look in the basement. From Hallmark Releasing Corporation, rated R.
And we're back. Did you enjoy said trailer? I'm sure Joel probably throws something in there. He likes to put fart noises and stuff. And sometimes
fart noises in here.
Oh wait, I'm not supposed to like make the noise. You're supposed to put the sound effect.
You put
in
in
there.
the sound effect yourself. That's all right.
That's
I'm
funny.
good with that.
All right, you want to talk about it?
Yes.
Do it.
I have thoughts. We both sometimes take notes. I always take notes.
I
She sometimes takes notes.
drew Don't Look in the Basement.
Like
But I didn't print it out.
Lettering. Oh, I shouldn't print it out. Well, she did draw something this time. I always take notes, but then I also usually draw pictures, and they don't always correlate with the film. So this time I drew
A little superhero guy?
some guy with a weird mask on, and then that guy that's been got an arrow
Pierced.
through the head. I kind of like the way they both came out, though.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're fun and
Yeah,
functional.
They are fun.
Wait, what?
They are fun.
I thought you said you're fun. I'm like,
You are fun.
This is I lost my train of thought. So we watched Don't Look in the Basement from 1973, which is currently sitting at 4.9 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, in which, incidentally, there is a sequel. But we'll get to that. So this was directed by S.F. Brownrigg, which Laura mentioned in the little
I did.
thing about the movie there, who also is known for Don't Hang Up. Boy, he likes to tell you what to do. He's like, don't go in the basement. Don't hang up. Scum of the Earth, which is not to be confused with a similar, another movie of the same title that came out about 10 years earlier, I think. I have to double check my facts here, but I know that there's 2 movies with that same title. Keep My Grave Open. I don't think that's a good idea. I think when you're in the grave, you probably should cover it, right? And Thinking Big.
Thinking Big.
This was written by 2 different people. Tim Pope, who is known for that. That's it. And Thomas Pope, who is known for The Manitou, which if you are a esoteric horror film lover, you've probably heard of The Manitou. A Great Ride, which sounds like a movie about a car that you like.
Or a person you like.
Hammett, not to be confused with Kirk Hammett. It's just a movie about Hammett or Hamlet, neither of that. The Lords of Discipline, which sounds kind of...
Sounds like a Rob Zombie movie.
Kind of, right? The Lords of Salem sequel. And Cold Dog Soap. I'm sorry, Cold Dog Soup.
Cold Dog Soap.
Soap. No, it says soup. Sorry. Cold Dog Soup, which does not sound good for dogs or people. So the stars one Bill McGee, who was in Curse of the Swamp Creature, which when you see the art here, you're going to go, I've seen that before. B-movie monster. Probably going to make it into the whip at some point. Drive-In. And Riverbend.
The whip, by the way, is his work in progress. He's drawing a huge collage of monsters.
Yeah.
You got to tell people what you're talking about sometimes.
It's slowed down a little bit, but we'll get back to it here eventually.
Yeah, he's got, 91
different people in it now. Rosie Holotic, which I remember the name, who was in Horror High, which is on the shelf. It's a weird little Jekyll and Hyde movie, but with high school students. It's weird but fun. Encounter with the Unknown, which is anytime I'm out in the world. A TV movie called Perry Mason and the Curse of the Maligned Mobster. Good old Perry Mason. And finally, we're going to talk about Gene Ross, who I put in here because they had quite a few credits. They were in the movie Angel, which we watched with Joe Bob. Remember? Mm-hmm. The high school student by day.
Yes.
Call girl by night. Shooty, shooty, bang, bang. That movie is actually way better than it should have been. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter with Corey Feldman murdering Jason Voorhees slowly. Cloak and Dagger, which is also on the shelf. Well, so it's Friday 13th, but Cloak and Dagger, which is one of my childhood wish fulfillment movies. I loved that movie when I was a kid, and it's so sad, but it's on the shelf now. They've got a beautiful release from Vinegar Syndrome. Chef's kiss. They were in the Goonies. Come on now. And they were in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Not the best in the franchise, but still Halloween. And they were in David Lynch's Lost Highway.
Wow.
Come on. Gene Ross was in all these things that are amazing. What a career, right? And then they started out early on in Don't Look in the Basement.
Which character? Oh, was it the young girl?
I honestly don't know. I'm not sure.
The Gene with a
G.
With a G. I wonder if it was the judge, maybe? No, I was thinking it was the kid. The Danny.
Oh, the annoying kid? I wanted to punch that kid. He was annoying. We'll have to look it up later and we'll figure it out ourselves and maybe we'll put it in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll look a picture of him. So anyway, that's everybody. So at this point, my wife looks at me very lovingly and says,
"What'd you think?"
And I say, well, let's talk about it. So first of all, it had a weird start, and it felt very much to me like they were going for Friday the 13th Part 5, which incidentally, in hindsight, that would have made a pretty fun suggestion, but that's not what I went with. Uh, Hindsight's 2020, because it starts out with an axe murder by a patient in a behavioral health facility, um, and that's exactly what happened in Friday 13th Part 5 in the beginning, all because of a chocolate bar. Kind of, it's interesting. Um, it definitely has 70s pacing, like in editing. It's very, very, very 70s. Like right from the get go, you're like,
Oh yeah.
and when we watched the trailer, I was like, as soon as the credit, like the name of the movie popped on the screen, I'm like, this looks like something that if I imagine when you were back in the day on 42nd Street that you'd see that trailer and be like, I want to go see that thing, whatever that is. I thought this was going to be a slasher, like, like don't look in the basement because there's somebody that's like living in the house and they don't know about it and it's
Right.
like murdering people one by one. Nope, it was definitely not a slasher.
That's pretty slow.
It was kind of slow because
It was
again,
kind of weird.
70s.
I guessed it though right off the bat.
And if you heard the tagline, which I hope you didn't, don't go back and rewind and just watch it without the tagline. You'll figure it out if you've seen any movies at all in your life. And I even wrote that. That was the next thing on my thing. Did Laura figure out the ending? Question mark. And then I put a bunch of stars later because we did.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a unique film. It felt kind of more like a character study than a horror film. It's like all the different individual characters with their different psychoses and
Yeah, I feel like
we have drinks today.
we do. I feel like it was appropriate, I guess, for the time frame.
What you mean the characterizations?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different time. I mean, I don't want to say that they were, what's the word I'm looking for?
Exploiting them, kind of.
The characterizations?
Like, is that what you mean?
Well,
like,
I
making fun of them?
Yeah, I didn't feel like they were like, it was too far off what it would be today still, but it was definitely more of a stylized kind of like, oh, well, this person's got a split personality,
schizophrenic,
so therefore they got to act exactly like this.
Yeah, like the one woman that I think is probably the Playboy person or whatever.
Rosie.
She like was left by lots of men, and so now she's like overly extra promiscuous and like wants to like be with everybody, and like because she was abandoned a bunch of times and like is constantly showing her boobs. And I was like, I don't know, maybe there are people out there that are like that, but
Never met any.
I've never met any. I mean, she was like doing that with everybody.
She was very over the top and exaggerative. Imagine like if Joan Crawford in her later years was showing off her assets a lot. That's kind of what you'd get.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a whole lot of loud piano noises in this movie. Like, there was a lot of loud piano noises, like just sprinkled throughout. It was part of the ambiance.
Yeah.
I also wrote Danny as a douche because Danny was a douche.
Yeah, he kept stealing that girl's baby.
And he was just not a very nice kid.
It was a baby doll.
He was not like a super main character. Like he was really peripheral. But whenever he'd pop up, you just wanted to like throw him down the stairs. He was really annoying. And I don't know what his exact deal was supposed to be, but he was just like weird.
Like laughing at people, like, oh, the boob girl or whatever. Like he was like starting to make out with her, and then he was like pointing at her, and he was like, ha, 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 and she's like, how dare you,
trying to make her feel shameful for having her top off, but he was kind of the one that was leading her on to begin with. And apparently Shaggy wants a drink. My wife knew that I was having a craving for Fanta strawberry, so she stopped and picked some up at our lovely Meyer. And so that's why we're drinking them, because I didn't want them to melt while we were recording.
Yeah.
What else? I said I legit did not know what was going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know where the movie was going. Because I wasn't sure if you were right. I felt like you probably were, but I was trying to kind of like figure out if there was any other possibilities. And then I wrote, dun dun dun, shock horror ending. You were right.
I fell asleep at the end.
Yeah. But not for very long, though.
No.
It's like 5-10 minutes.
It's probably because I like knew the ending, and then, and I never did see, like, I don't remember, like, they went in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And did they see what was in the basement?
I mean, there was. I mean, yeah.
Because I don't remember that part.
That's kind of the misnomer of the film is that they make it sound like if you go down in the basement, either A, you're going to die, or B, you're going to see a whole bunch of like a House of a Thousand Corpses
Right.
situation. And neither was really the case. Like, I'm not going to say exactly what was in the basement, but it was nothing.
Nothing to
action
write
was all
home about.
upstairs. Right. Everything was going on in the upstairs part of the house or outside.
There's a lot of terrible things, though, happening.
And I have to say, if like you and I were, this age in 1973 and we're like, hey, let's go see a movie. And we went to go see this in the theater, knew nothing about it, didn't read the poster, just went because we saw the title and was like, that sounds pretty cool. It would actually been kind of a fun like experience, and the ending would have been kind of fun if you didn't know what was going on ahead of time. Because especially then, I mean, we've seen a similar trope now since then.
Yeah.
But at the time, I mean, it would have been kind of a neat little thing to see. So I was not mad at it.
No, I didn't hate this movie. I actually like kind of, enjoyed it. I was just like sleepy.
It was interesting. Let's just put it that way. It was definitely an interesting journey. And I mentioned that there's a sequel. Now, the sequel is called Don't Look in the Basement 2. Whoa. It is directed by the son of the original director, the SF Brownrigg. And I, for some reason, did not write down the kid's name that directed it. But it's from 2015, so it just came out not that long ago.
Oh.
And the basic premises is that one of the characters from the original film comes back to the original house, which is apparently still some sort of a home for
asylum
something. Yeah, I don't know if it's another asylum still or if it's for wayward kids or whatever, but this guy shows up to like be treated or to revisit his demons or whatever, and stuff starts happening, and it looks like it's maybe more of a ghost story than like a murdery slashery type thing.
Really?
I don't know. We watched the trailer.
I don't remember.
You don't?
Was I sleeping at that time?
You woke up, but maybe you were still kind of half asleep.
Yeah.
But it looks, yeah, I actually said after the trailer ended, I'm like, I would actually watch that. I don't know that it's going to be
I think we
good,
should.
But
find it and watch it.
And it's got about the same, this is a 4.9. I think that one's like a 4.5 or something. They're pretty close in terms of like, and it looks like it was a kind of pretty low budget, shot on video, almost kind of digital. It's shot on digital, but pretty low quality digital. So yeah, we might have to add that to the list. I don't know where we're sitting at on like how we're doing here on.
We're about 15.
What?
15.
We're at 15?
I didn't start it until, after the break.
We still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, so it's probably like 22.
Not counting the trailer. Now I'm going to have to edit this
25.
because I don't know what time it is. So you said you had a bunch of stuff to say at the end still?
No.
You said we got to get to the stuff at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just like about, who we are.
Oh. Okay.
This is off the rails now.
Yeah, I'm going to cut that out.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, I don't know. Did you have any other thoughts, feelings, words, comments?
Well, I enjoyed it. It wasn't too bad. I feel like we're good on time. What would you give it on a scale of
I didn't.
Whatever?
I didn't write that down.
Whatever to 5.
Whatever to 5.
Let's see. Axes.
Oh, there was an axe in the film
which was stupid.
Came back a couple times.
Stupid.
Yeah, the reason the axe is in the film was not intelligent. The doctor that was in the film they had some pretty crazy ideas. No pun intended. Anyway, yes, I believe that I ended up, because I already rated this, and I meant to write it down and I didn't, but I believe I ended up at a 2.5 out of 5, just because I felt like it was telegraphed a little bit and there were some things that could have been tightened up, but overall, I didn't hate it.
Nope. I agree. I'm going to say 2.5 also. Yeah. So if they don't want to watch this movie, though, what do you recommend?
Well, like I said, Friday the 13th Part 5 was what I probably should have recommended because it would have been a pretty nice little analog thing, but too late now. I already picked another one out of the hat. So I actually am going a little bit off the side here. with 1987's Doom Asylum, starring Kristen Davis from that Sex and the City show. Sex and the City show?
Action is shitty.
Yeah, I kind of misspoke there. And Patty Mullen, who is the Frankenhooker
Oh yeah.
in her only other film. Which she's still alive and goes and does conventions and stuff. She just had a very short career. But yeah, it was Kristen Davis is one of her first roles, if not her very first role.
Weird.
It's on the shelf. Arrow did a release of it that is very nice. But anyway, it basically is about a bunch of kids that go to an asylum to like party and hang out, and it turns out that the coroner that used to work at the asylum is still there and is not happy that they're on the grounds. Things start happening. And incidentally, just a fun fact about the film, it was shot in an actual haunted asylum.
Cool.
Fun fact.
Makes it even better.
Right? It's kind of a weird little underground cult kind of classic.
Yeah.
Plus, like I said, Kristen Davis and Patty Mullen. So
I'm not going to blow this one up because we've got 4 other movies to watch.
All right. We got more to watch on the slasher collection.
So what are we watching next week?
Next week, we are watching one that we don't think we've seen, but
oh yeah,
shock horror that we haven't.
Devil. The Devil.
This one is
it's the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Produced by M. Night Shyamalan. Not directed by. He just produced it because he said, this sounds like something that would be good, but I don't want to direct it. I'm going to let somebody else do that. And so, boop,
bad things happen for a reason, Joel. You want me to read it?
This is from 2010, and I'm going to put my thing down so I can listen.
Trapped in an elevator high above Philadelphia, 5 people discover that the devil is among them and no one can escape their fate. This chilling supernatural thriller from producer M. Night Shyamalan of The Sixth Sense and Signs will keep you on the edge of your seat all the way to a heart-stopping ending with a truly wicked twist. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been one that's been on my list for a long time, and I'm hoping that we don't start watching it and both of us are like, oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
I know we haven't seen it together, but I don't remember ever actually seeing it, and she doesn't believe she's seen it, so fingers crossed.
I think I've seen a lot of trailers for it, and so I thought maybe I had seen it, but then I was like, I don't actually remember watching it in its entirety.
That's the thing. It was such a big thing at the time, and there were so many people like talking about it that I think I just felt like, either I don't need to see it or I'll see it at some point, and here we are nearly 15 years later and
gonna watch it.
Seen it.
Now we're gonna watch it for you guys. Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is like what I was going to talk about in the beginning there. If they want to find us, where can they find us?
Right here.
And where else?
At our website at thenewlydeads.com. There's a little link down there by the dog that you can't see, where you can find all of our information about all of our socials, our websites, our video locations, our blogs that we write. We try to blog. And a bunch of other fun stuff, including upcoming events where we're going to be if you want to find us in person.
Yeah. And I think by the time this airs, this will be long over for, Summerween. But, we may do some other events, maybe. I don't know. And if you want to commission work from us, contact us at contact@thenewlydeads.com.
Look at that segue.
Hey.
Yes.
We do some weird freelance work sometimes. Like I'm in the middle of now, like making stationery for someone. We've done TikTok videos for people. I don't know.
And we've done other help for people for projects that aren't fully realized yet. So there's
we like creating
something
stuff
we're working on that doesn't necessarily spooky stuff, but that is, of course, our bread and butter.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, we love that you came to visit us and that you are watching with us. Oh, no, Shaggy. I thought Shaggy was going to look in the camera there for a second.
No, he got nervous because Bailey was
being a jerk. But like I said, thank you so much for watching. And until next week,
keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Go look after your mother and sister. Where are you going? We're going to finish this.